Good morning, all of you. See, children, we were discussing about the layers of the atmosphere, the huge mass of air which protects or which surrounds around the Earth. Okay, that is divided into five layers. Okay, which are the five layers of atmosphere, Ihan?
Troposphere,
Hmm.
stratosphere,
Yes.
mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere.
Exosphere. Okay, see, children, starting from the Earth's surface. Okay, the layer which is very close to the Earth's surface, that is troposphere. Okay, that is troposphere. Just above the troposphere, it is
Stratosphere.
stratosphere. And which is the middle layer?
Mesosphere.
Mesosphere, yes. And thermosphere and exosphere.
Exosphere.
Okay, yes. So these are the five layers of atmosphere. Okay, we will study in detail about each of this layer. And about troposphere, we have discussed about troposphere. The term tropos, what does it mean? Sian? Change. Okay, the term tropos, it means change. Means almost the changing of all weather phenomena is occurring or is happening in this layer. Okay, that means rain, hailstorm, fog. Okay, all these weather phenomena are constantly occurring or happening in this layer. And the air we breathe, okay, the air we breathe, as it is very close to the earth's surface, the air we breathe, it exists in this layer, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what about its average height, Aradhya?
12 to 13.
12 to 30 kilometer high. Okay, then is the mixing up of all gases. Okay, the combination of all gases that are present in this layer. And I mean, this is the most important layer of the Earth atmosphere. Okay, so we have discussed in detail about troposphere. The tropos means change. Okay, so this is, you know, the weather that is constantly changing on this layer and very close to Earth's surface, and its average height, it is 12 to 13 kilometer, and almost 75% of all the air. Okay, almost all 75% of all the air in the atmosphere, it is there. It contains in this layer. And what about the temperature? Temperature of this layer?
As the height increases,
It increases with the, it means the temperature
decreases.
decreases with the increase in height. Okay, see children, you have to note that point. The temperature of this layer, temperature decreases with the increase in height. Have you heard the term altitude?
Yes.
Height. Okay, so as and when we go higher, the temperature will decrease, the temperature will become low. Okay, so this is about the temperature of this layer. And hot air balloons fly within the troposphere, and the combination of all gases. Okay, this is here, it contained in this layer. And do we discuss about stratosphere?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So just above the troposphere, it is stratosphere. Okay, just above the troposphere, it is stratosphere. And the term strat, please note it down, children. It means layer. And why this layer has this name? But this name, you know, children, it has its own set of layers. That means this layer has a set of, or an ozone layer which protect us from the harmful rays of the sun. Okay, so that the name stratosphere means that strat, the term strat means that layer. So this layer of atmosphere has its own set of layers. It has its own set of layers, and its average height is about 15 kilometers above the Earth's surface. You know, children, tropopause. What is tropopause, you know, children? The upper boundary. Okay, the upper boundary of troposphere. That is known as tropopause. See? Children, this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
this is the Earth's surface, and the layers of atmosphere, it is all divided into five. Yes, five layers are here. Then the layer which is very close to the Earth's surface, that is troposphere. And the upper limit, what do you mean by the upper limit? The boundary where troposphere end and the stratosphere. Yes, okay, that is known as tropopause. Okay, that is tropopause. Is it clear, children? The upper boundary of troposphere, that is known as tropopause. Is it clear, Ihan?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the upper boundary of troposphere, the upper limit, okay, the upper limit of troposphere, that is known as tropopause. Okay. So, you know, children, the limit, okay, the stratosphere layer extend from the tropopause. That means from the from the upper boundary of this limit, the upper limit of the troposphere is about 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface.
Ma'am, the tropo means change.
Tropo means change. Strat means layer. Okay. So the upper limit or the average height of stratosphere, it is about 50 kilometers. And this layer contains a layer of ozone gas, so that it has a set of layers, right? Yes, it has a set of layers. We have discussed about the meaning of the term strat. What does strat means?
Strat means layer.
Layer. Okay, layer. Because you know, children, this layer contains a thin layer of ozone gas, which forms a protective layer, and it has the capacity to absorb harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. Please note it down, children. So that this layer has got the name as stratosphere. So this layer contains a thin layer of soil, which forms a protective layer that has the capacity, the layer of this ozone, it has the capacity to absorb the harmful rays of the sun. And you know, children, this is the area, or this is the layer which is almost free from clouds. Okay, so this is the ideal place to fly aeroplanes. That means this layer, it is almost free from the weather phenomena. Okay, when we discussed about troposphere, we have seen that almost all weather, that means weather is constantly changing, rainfall, fog, hailstorm, all these are happening there, wind, okay, all these are happening there in troposphere. But this layer is
Clouds.
almost free, yes, it's almost free from clouds and also almost all other weather phenomena. So this is the ideal place for flying the aeroplanes. Note it down, children. I think that point is there in the textbook.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So children, please note down the points. Strat means, the term strat, it means layer. This layer of atmosphere has its own set of layers. Okay, it has its own set of layers. That is about the ozone layer. And the boundary between the stratosphere and troposphere, the upper limit of troposphere, it is called tropopause. The region or that area, okay, that area, it is free from clouds and almost all the weather phenomena, so that it is the ideal place where aeroplanes fly. Aaron, is it clear? Aaron, are you here? He's not listening. And its average height is 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface. And it has, okay, this layer contain a layer of ozone gas, which has the capacity to absorb the harmful rays of the sun. Okay, and you know, children, here high altitude weather balloons flying into the stratosphere for monitoring the atmospheric conditions and climatic research. High altitude weather balloons, what do you mean by high altitude weather balloons? Not like the hot air balloons, right? Okay, these are the balloons flying into the stratosphere to research about the climate and atmospheric conditions. Okay, so the term strat, it means layer, because this layer, it has its own set of layers. Okay, and its average height is about
50 kilometers.
50 kilometer. Okay, its average height is about 50 kilometer. That is almost free of almost all weather phenomena, and also it's free from clouds. Okay, so that it is the ideal place to fly aeroplanes. Okay, now what is the speciality of this layer?
This layer has its own
layer has
set
the
of
ozone.
Yes, a thin layer of ozone, which forms a protective layer. That means which protect this layer of ozone gas, protect us, yes, protect us from the harmful
Radiation of
rays
sun.
of the sun. Okay. Is this all points are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
What is tropopause?
Tropopause is the upper limit.
The boundary layer of troposphere.
Yes, yes. Okay. Then, you know, children, in the temperature, okay, the temperature increases in this layer, the temperature just a minute, children. in this layer, the temperature increases with the height. Okay, the troposphere, the temperature will decrease. Okay, the temperature is low as when we go higher. But in this layer, you know, the temperature increases with an increase in the height. See, troposphere, almost all 75% of the air consists in which layer? Troposphere. Okay, yes, but when we go move towards, you know, into higher or these layers, you know, the amount of these all gases, it may be different. Okay, so in this layer, the temperature, it is increases. Okay, troposphere, it is decreasing, but in this layer, the temperature increases with an increase in the height. And underline all these points in the textbook also. Height of 50 kilometer. It is free from clouds and ideal for flying aeroplanes. A layer of ozone gas protects us from the harmful effect of the sun rays. Who can summarize all these points? About stratosphere. Herin?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Stratosphere. Strat means layer.
Yes,
Or-
strat means layer.
The stratosphere because it has a set of layers.
Layers, okay,
Which is
yeah.
known as, just a minute.
Ah. You're muted, Harin. Muted.
It extends from the tropos.
No, its
Tropopause.
average height is about
50 kilometers.
50 kilometer. Okay, and this region is free from
Clouds. And
yes, clouds and
weather
yes,
phenomena.
almost all weather conditions or weather phenomena. So this is the ideal place for
Airplanes to fly.
yes. Okay, flying aeroplanes. Okay, then what is the speciality of this layer?
It has ozone molecules which form
Yes,
a protective
ozone layer which protect us from the
harmful
harmful rays of the
radiation from the sun.
sun. Okay, yes, which protect us from the harmful rays of the sun. Okay,
The temperature increase with the height.
yes, the temperature of this layer, it increases with an increase in the height. Okay, so is there any doubt, children?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so strat means a layer. Okay, so when you think about the meaning of this term, the full points, it would be clear to you. Okay, that means strat, layer, tropos, change. That means changing of all weather phenomena, very close to Earth's surface, and what is the most important layer? Okay, which makes the most important layer. Strat, the second layer. Okay, which means layer. Okay, that means ozone layer. The presence of ozone gas, it is there in this layer, which protects us from the harmful rays of the sun. Okay, and average height, that also important, 50 kilometer, ideal place for flying the aeroplanes. Okay, see,
Yes,
children. Okay, so the middle layer, that is mesosphere. Yes, mesosphere. The term meso, it means middle. So this is the middle layer, that is just above the stratosphere, it is mesosphere. The term meso, it means middle layer, and it is the coldest layer. And minus 90 degrees Celsius, which makes the coldest layer of all. Okay. And it is, okay, it is the third layer. It lies above the stratosphere, and its average height is about 80 kilometers.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what is meteoroids?
Sorry?
Meteoroids.
Meteoroids.
What is that?
We'll discuss. Okay. So the mesosphere, it is the middle layer, and it is just above the stratosphere, and it is the coldest layer of all. It's about the temperature, okay, it is about minus 90 degrees Celsius, and it extends up to a height of 80 kilometers. Just a minute.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, children. So the term meso, what is the term meso means? Middle. Okay, so this is the middle layer. Yes, just above the stratosphere, it is mesosphere, and it is the coldest layer. It extends up to 80 kilometers. Okay, the average height of this is about 80 kilometers, and the boundary between the mesosphere and the thermosphere, mesopause. Okay, mesopause. That means the upper limit of all these layers, we would describe it as tropopause, stratopause. Okay, and mesopause, the same. That means that the upper limit or boundary of each layer, that is mesopause, and it is the coldest part of the earth atmosphere. I have told you, minus 90 degrees Celsius. And meteoroids. Okay, meteoroids. You know what is meteoroids?
Ma'am, space rock.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Many things add on.
90 degree.
Many things which are coming from the solar system. Okay, solar system. That they become meteoroids when they enter into the Earth atmosphere. Okay, many particles of from the solar system, when they enter into the Earth's surface, from the space they were entering into the Earth atmosphere, it become meteoroids. Okay, do you want the definition?
Yes, ma'am.
Write it down. Celestial bodies, any of the small stars, or else I'll make it one. Small body moving from to the Earth's atmosphere. That is called meteoroids. Yes. And so when these meteoroids, they will burn up in this layer on entering from the space. That means a part or a piece of some things, okay, some celestial bodies, when it is moving, okay, when it is moving from solar system, when it is entering to this layer, it will burn up. Why it will burn? Can you guess, children?
Because the air
Because it causes friction. Okay, there is a friction with the air, so that it become burn up while entering into this layer. Okay, see children, we will discuss more about